Well, at this point, Heidi, what we know is that ASIC are looking into what happened during the sale of some government debt in Australia last year and ANZ's role in that. So it's quite typical for banks, typically through a syndicate, a number of banks together to be involved in the sale of government bonds. But something seems to have picked up some kind of irregularity in what happened in one of these sales last year. So what we know is that ASIC, the main markets regulator now, is looking into one of these sales last year, and specifically ANZ's role in that. So they're the really kind of basic mechanics of what's happened and what's come out in the last few hours, but really it begs quite a lot of questions now, which we'll hope to answer in the coming days and weeks, about what really did happen during the trading of this. Was it at the time? Was it something that happened subsequently? And indeed, what were the other banks that were involved in this? Is this something that's just isolated to ANZ, or were there other firms involved in these sales that also look in some way irregular as well? So there's some of the things we'll be looking at. And of course, the broader context here is that this isn't the first time an Australian bank has been involved in accusations of impropriety in markets like these. So if you cast your memory back a good few years now to the bank bill swap rate inquiries, that were cases taken to court by ASIC for not just ANZ but for some other banks as well, around irregular trading that existed in those markets. So it does bring back memories of some of those problems associated with what happened in those markets, but it's too early to tell just exactly what's happened now. We really need to try and dig into the details and understand what was ANZ's role in this government bond sale, and indeed what are the specifics of the irregularities that happened that have prompted ASIC to look further and investigate just what's happened.
ANZ says that it's cooperating fully here, but do we get a sense of what the investigation would really look like and how long it could take, and as well touch a bit more on the possible penalties here?
Yeah, it's a little bit early to tell, really, Annabelle, on all of those fronts, but clearly the bank is cooperating with the regulator, as you would expect. The question is what that level of interaction and communication is. Are they really drilling down into some specific one-off irregularity that they found, or is it more about a series of events that happened over time? It's too early to know that yet, and therefore it's really too early to throw around any numbers in terms of what might result out of this or any potential penalties further down the line. We just don't know enough about what happened, what went wrong, and indeed why it went wrong, and to get any assessment of that yet. But of course, that's really what we'll be looking at, and some of the real key details that we'll want to drill into and try and find out in coming days.